breakdown. Forever chemicals. Right now, an Oklahoma lawmaker is still working to stop a company using biosolids or humanure to fertilize farmers' fields in our state.
For years, Fox 25 has been investigating the human fertilizer and the concern with exposure to PFAS that have hit the EPA's radar. Fox 25's Rob Hagan standing by with the latest on this concern. Rob, what'd you learn?
Wendy, Adam, what originally came as a breath of fresh air quickly turned to concern after word humanure distributor Synagro was moving its operations out of Lincoln and Oklahoma counties and moving into Logan and Canadian counties next. Now a group of lawmakers and one local farmer says, simply put, that stinks. Concern is in the air over the use of human fertilizer in use for decades, including in Lincoln and Oklahoma counties. It's known as biosolids, sewage sludge, or humanure, but Representative Jim Shaw calls it a huge pile of concern.
We here in Oklahoma still, as a legislative body, haven't somehow figured out that this is a legitimate risk to food production, to clean water, and to the benefit or to the overall health of the state of Oklahoma.
Representative Shaw posted his concern to social media, warning Synagro was moving and going to make Logan and Canadian counties the new focus for humanure. The concern is over the health risks of forever chemicals that could be in biosolids.
Whatever treatment they apply to that does not get rid of all of those contaminants, and it's absolutely contaminating farmland and water supplies, and it's got to stop.
The EPA released a draft risk assessment in January highlighting the potential exposure to the chemicals with all three methods of disposing of sewage sludge, including land application of biosolids.
We have to stop them. I don't think there's any question we have to stop them. But the question is, how do you get the forever chemicals out of the sewage?
State Senator Randy Grellner has been a family physician for 25 years. He says his problem isn't with just humanure. It's with PFAS from human and industrial waste like prescription drugs being flushed into the water supply.
That's one of the biggest assets and natural resources we have in Oklahoma is water. And to potentially lose our water supply because a few people want to benefit, I think is shameful.
Synagro's website says they've recycled biosolids for more than 3 decades and managed 16 million tons of humanure just last year, saving farmers tens of thousands with an environmentally beneficial fertilizer. One Donkey dairy farmer has been sounding the alarm that what you flush could end up on your plate, and she doesn't want the risk passed on to other counties she gets her hay from.
What is at risk is our farmland, our water supply, and our food supply. So we are going to continue to fight and continue to advocate for farmers and ranchers to know the truth about what they're promoting as a safe fertilizer that clearly is not.
Now, Representative Shaw says he's involved in a study in October to study the risks of using biosolids and the solution to use them for fuel instead of using them to grow our food. Live at the state capitol, Rob Hagan, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Rob. And Oklahoma, not the only area of concern when it comes to humanure. Each year, more than 1 million tons of sewage sludge are applied to farmlands all across the country.
And it often contains PFAS, toxic forever chemicals tied to cancer. And it's now invading our food supply through farms. As Lisa Fletcher reports, just as we were on the verge of action to address the risk, there's a high-level effort to shut it down.
An invisible enemy is being welcomed onto American farms.
This is a forever chemical. It's not leaving.
Fertilizer that can be teeming with toxic PFAS is being spread across tens of millions of acres, absorbed by crops, eaten by livestock, and showing up in the produce, milk, and meat Americans consume.
All a farmer wants to do is grow a good, healthy crop, do right by the land, feed the public in a responsible manner. And when something is injected into his world like this, it's going to devastate him.
Rob Hinton is a fourth-generation Virginia farmer, trying to alert others to a crisis already playing out in places like Michigan and Maine, where farms utilizing PFAS-laden sludge have been shut down when the animals and soil turned toxic.
This is about as real as it gets, guys.
Maine farmer Fred Stone was forced to close his dairy farm and euthanize 80% of his herd when milk from his cows had levels of PFAS 350 times higher than the current limit for drinking water. Stone is now sick, battling extremely high levels of PFAS in his blood.
The health issues that the four of us have are pretty severe. We literally poisoned our son and my daughter.
The chemicals are tied to cancer, reproductive issues, and developmental effects in children, even decreased response to vaccines. Enough evidence for Rob Hinton to say no to sludge.
You passed on using it.
We passed on using it. I gave it a hard look twice, and we walked away from it.
Away from a product used on about 1/5 of all U.S. farmland. Here's how it works. Wastewater treatment facilities pay companies to haul tons of human excrement, or biosolids. Those companies have to unload the waste, often by giving it to farmers for free to spread on their land.
That's hundreds of millions of people in the U.S. eating food from farms that use biosolids. So the exposure is incredibly high.
Which is why EPA action is so important, says Kyla Bennett, Director of Science Policy at Public Employees for Environmental Responsibility. For the first time ever, this year, the EPA identified risks from sludge containing PFAS being spread on farms. The agency found that food and milk produced on those farms could be unsafe for human health. Elevated cancer risk was one of the agency's markers for safety.
We can give you cancer and kill you, but there's going to be a lag time. And the more that you eat, the more you're exposed to.
Only a handful of states are testing for PFAS in biosolids, and what they're finding are levels so alarming they're considering statewide bans. Investigations in Michigan showed levels of PFAS 2,000 times higher than the EPA's safety limit. In Colorado, 95% of samples exceeded that limit. And recently, a Texas county declared a state of emergency over PFAS contamination from sludge. But in the widespread absence of regulation, farmers are on their own.
Who's left to fix the problem?
No one. I don't know what I can do about it. This interview is about all I can do about it. I'm not saying shut this whole thing down. Let's say do your due diligence, do your job, be a government, regulate this stuff, educate the people who are affected, and let's figure it out.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Lisa Fletcher.
There's a major wrinkle in these calls for regulation. You heard about the risk assessment from the EPA. We have learned there's a high-level effort in Congress to actually stop working on this issue entirely and shut down the process.
PFAS also turning up in a variety of consumer products, including non-stick pans. The PFAS chemicals can make products water resistant, but the concern is the actual chemical doesn't break down easily. Now, state lawmakers in California passing a bill aiming to ban products made with the forever chemicals. Currently awaiting Governor Gavin Newsom's desk for his signature. If he does sign it, food packaging and plastic foodware could be banned in the state by 2028, and by 2030, cookware with PFAS would also be pulled from store shelves. It's a move some Californians support.
Removal of that would be wonderful because there are actually healthy options. And if the others are removed, then just helps us all in general.
We go out of our way to stay healthy. So, to eat the right foods, to exercise, to not use environmentally dangerous things. And I never thought about the pans, to tell you the truth.
Governor Newsom has until October 12th to take action on the legislation. That was your Big Story Breakdown. You can find our previous investigations into humanure and PFAS on OKCFox.com.
Plus, check out our previous Big Story Breakdowns on our YouTube channel. Scan the QR code on your screen or search OKC Fox.